Hello, so in today's episode I'll be making the best oven roasted pork loin recipe with a lemon cranberry sauce that is to die for. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back. My name is Sylvia. Let's jump right into it. So guys, I have some fresh rosemary here and some thyme that I am going to harvest. I am going to give them a quick rinse. Now I am going to give it a rough chop. In a small skillet, I am going to add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. To that, I am going to add minced garlic, some fresh thymes, and fresh rosemary. So now I am going to turn my stove to medium-low. And we are going to cook these until the garlic start to sizzle. And please use fresh ingredients for this recipe. I promise you it will make your pork loin taste so much better. So go ahead and keep stirring for 2 to 3 minutes. Okay guys, after 3 minutes, this is ready and it smells phenomenal. So I am going to turn off the heat at this point and let it cool off. Now, so what we're gonna do is grab a food processor, and I have some pancetta that I am going to blend completely smooth. And if you cannot find pancetta, go ahead and use bacon and it will work just as good. So I am going to go ahead and place it in here. So I am going to blend this for about 2 to 3 minutes until it is completely smooth. So this is how it's looking as of right now. This looks great. So what I'm going to do now is take my garlic and rosemary mixture and I am going to put it in here. And blend it for 30 more seconds. So after blending it, this is how it's looking. And this is what you're looking for. This looks great. So I am going to set this aside and bring out my pork. So what I'm gonna do now is take my pork loin and I am going to cut about 1/2 inch off the cutting board. So just like so. And I'm going to keep cutting it all the way to the back of it. So guys, after slicing the meat open, I put some plastic wrap over it because I am going to use my meat tenderizer and I am going to flat this portion of it because it is a little bit lumpy and I want it to be somewhat even. So this looks pretty good. There's no more lump on this side of it, so that looks great. So what I'm going to do now is grab my salt and I am going to season the inside and the back side of it. Just like so, this looks great. So what I'm going to do now is flip it back over. Grab my pancetta mix. And I am going to spread it all over this pork. And this will give the pork a very nice flavor, guys. Trust the process. I also have some red pepper flakes that I am going to sprinkle on top because I do want a little bit of heat to this dish. If you don't want it to be spicy, go ahead and leave this out, but I truly recommend it. So what I'm going to do now is roll this up as tight as I can. Just like so. So I do have some cooking strings that I am going to tie this roast with. I am going to tie this with a double knot so it does not come loose. After tying the roast, I am going to cut off extra strings. So I am going to place this in the fridge for about an hour so the salt can penetrate the pork loin. And after that, I'll show you what the next steps are. So my roast is out of the fridge after an hour, and I had went and placed it on top of a wire rack, and we are going to preheat our oven to 275 degrees, and we are going to bake this for an hour to 2 hours. This is my pork roast after 2 hours in the oven. It is not done yet, so what I'm going to do is remove the juice from the bottom so I can make a cranberry sauce, and then I'm going to stick this back in the oven under a boil. Is pick this up. So what I want to do now is take this juice and I'm going to pour it into this pan. Now take your roast and place it back. So I'm going to stick this back in the oven under boil so it can have a nice color. And after that, I'll show you what it looks like. Okay guys, so here's my pork. It looks amazing. After placing it under the boil for 4 minutes, it has a really nice color. So I am going to cover it with some tin foil. And let it rest for 20 minutes before slicing into it. I do have some of the dripping from the pan that I have in this skillet, so I am going to add about half a can of cranberry sauce to it. So after adding the cranberry sauce to it, I am going to allow this to come to a boil. Always taste your food to see if it needs any extra seasoning. This is perfect the way it is. I didn't add any other spices to it. I just added the lemon juice, the pan dripping, and the cranberry sauce, and let it cook down for 5 minutes. And this is how it's looking. This looks great. Guys, so my pork loin is ready and it looks absolutely delicious. Guys, take a look. Thank you so much for spending some time with me, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.